You're 15, and you've just been handed a radio and told to watch the road. You don't know it yet, but you've just taken the very first step inside one of the most powerful criminal organizations on Earth. The Sinaloa Cartel is the largest and most powerful drug trafficking organization in the world, moving product through dozens of countries and generating billions of dollars a year. Every single part of that empire, all the way to the very top, starts with someone standing exactly where you are right now. As a Halcon, a lookout, your entire job is watching. Police convoys, rival scouts, anything unusual on the road gets radioed up the chain immediately, in code, before anyone official even knows you exist. Halcones are recruited as young as 12 or 13, kids who know every alley and rooftop in their own neighborhood better than any outsider ever could. It's the lowest paid job in the entire organization, and also one of the most dangerous, since lookouts are often the first ones caught in the crossfire when rival cartels move in. You learn the entire map of your own neighborhood by heart, which streets have cameras, which have blind spots, which rooftops give the clearest view of the checkpoint 2 blocks over. It's not glamorous, but it's information the organization depends on every single day. The men running the plaza are always watching how reliable you are. Every warning called in on time, every detail reported accurately, quietly builds a reputation. Miss something important once, and that reputation can be gone for good. Then one night, instead of watching from a rooftop, you're waved inside. You're not trusted with a weapon yet, but you've just been noticed by the people who decide who moves up next, and that's more than most lookouts ever get. As a Sicario, you're now part of the muscle, the enforcers who protect the plaza, collect debts by force if necessary, and respond immediately when a rival group tests the cartel's territory. It's one of the most feared roles in the organization, and one of the shortest lived. A lot of the job is simply presence, standing guard at a warehouse, a checkpoint, a safe house, making sure everyone who sees you understands exactly what happens if they cause trouble. Sometimes you're moving with a convoy, escorting a shipment through territory where a rival cartel could be watching from any direction. Every trip carries real risk, and everyone in the truck knows it. Territory disputes happen constantly along the trafficking corridors, and how you handle them, with restraint or with force, becomes part of your reputation fast. The wrong call here can start a war between plazas that lasts for years. You survive long enough and stay sharp enough that the plaza boss starts trusting you with more than just security. That trust is rare. Most sicarios never get the chance to prove they're worth more than muscle. As a distribuidor, you're now moving product directly, the last link in the chain before it reaches the street. It's a shift from muscle to logistics, and it comes with a completely different kind of risk. You manage a network of smaller dealers now, making sure product moves efficiently and money moves back up the chain without anyone skimming off the top. Keeping the books straight matters just as much as keeping the streets calm. Every dollar that moves through your network gets tracked because the plaza boss above you expects an exact cut, on time, every time. Falling short isn't just disappointing, it's the kind of mistake that gets noticed immediately. You start managing people now, not just product, settling small disputes, keeping your corner of the network organized, making sure nobody underneath you does anything stupid enough to draw police attention. You keep the network clean and the numbers accurate for long enough, and the plaza boss starts including you in bigger conversations about controlling entire streets, not just running product through them. As Jefe De Plaza, you now control an entire trafficking corridor, a strategically vital piece of territory the cartel depends on to move product across a border or through a key city. Everyone operating in this plaza, from lookouts to dealers to enforcers, answers to you. Running a plaza means managing everything that moves through it: product, money, people, information, and making sure none of it draws unwanted attention from the police or a rival cartel. Holding a plaza means constant vigilance, a rival cartel testing your corridor, a corrupt official needing to be paid off, a shipment that has to move on schedule no matter what. Losing control of a plaza, even briefly, can cost the organization millions. Sometimes controlling a plaza means negotiating with local officials, or even quietly resolving disputes with a rival cartel before they explode into open conflict. A war over a single corridor can cost far more than it's ever worth. You start coordinating directly with the people who move product across entire regions, not just through your own corridor. And that coordination is exactly how the cartel keeps such a massive operation running smoothly. Run your plaza well enough, long enough, without drawing the wrong kind of attention, and the regional leadership starts taking notice. That kind of reliability is worth more to the cartel than almost anything else. As Transportista Chief, you're now responsible for moving product across entire regions, coordinating routes, drivers, and cover stories that keep shipments from ever being connected to the cartel at all. Every route has to look completely legitimate on paper. Legal cargo, legal permits, drivers who have no idea what's hidden in the shipment they're carrying. Building that kind of invisible logistics network takes real skill. When one route gets compromised, a checkpoint gets tighter, a driver gets questioned, you have to reroute an entire supply chain almost overnight without slowing down deliveries the rest of the organization depends on. You oversee transfers personally when the shipment is large enough to matter, because a mistake at this stage doesn't just cost money, it can expose the entire route to law enforcement. Move enough product across enough regions without a single major loss, and the regional leadership starts trusting you with decisions that go far beyond logistics. Decisions about strategy, about territory, about the organization's future. As regional commander, you now oversee multiple plazas across an entire state or border region. Every plaza boss, every transportista, every enforcer in that territory ultimately answers up the chain to you. Coordinating an entire region means resolving conflicts between plazas, allocating resources where they're needed most, and making sure the whole territory moves as one organization instead of competing factions. At this level, security isn't optional. You travel with armed protection at all times, because a regional commander is exactly the kind of target both rival cartels and law enforcement actively hunt for. You now handle full-scale conflicts between cartels, not just local disputes, negotiating territory, resolving violence before it spreads, or deciding when a fight is actually necessary to protect what the organization has built. You keep your region profitable, keep it loyal, and keep it quiet. And slowly, the people closest to the very top of the organization start including you in decisions that shape the cartel's entire future. As lieutenant, you're now part of the cartel's inner circle, one of a small handful of people trusted with strategy at the very top level of the organization, just below El Patron himself. Decisions about expanding into new territory, negotiating with foreign suppliers, or responding to a major law enforcement operation all pass through the inner circle now, and you're one of the very few people in the room. At this level, you move constantly and unpredictably. Different safe houses, different routes, different phones every few weeks, because the DEA and Mexican federal authorities actively hunt anyone this close to the top. You start negotiating directly with rival organizations now, deciding whether an entire region stays peaceful or slides into open war. Decisions that affect thousands of people who will never know your name. Above you sits only one man, El Patron, the head of the entire organization. In an operation this large, only a handful of people in the cartel's entire history have ever actually held that title. Then, almost overnight, the seat opens. An arrest, a betrayal, a power struggle that ends badly for the wrong person. However it happens, someone has to be recognized as El Patron, and every commander in the organization is watching to see who it will be. Nobody hands you this title for free. You earn it because you've built enough loyalty, enough respect, and enough fear across enough regions that no one is willing to challenge you for it out loud. You're El Patron now. Every regional commander, every plaza boss, every Sicario in the entire organization ultimately answers up the chain to you, whether they've ever even seen your face or not. Every major decision the organization makes now passes through you first. Which routes expand, which conflicts get resolved, which plazas get reinforced. Running an operation on this scale is closer to running a global corporation than most people ever imagine. Money finally flows the way it always should have, upward, from every plaza, every route, every corner of the operation. But so does the responsibility for protecting all of it, no matter what it costs. You stop appearing in public much at all now. Layers of commanders exist between you and the actual operations, exactly the way it's supposed to work. It's the only way anyone has ever survived at the very top for more than a few years. US and Mexican authorities have spent decades and enormous resources trying to dismantle organizations like this from the top down, and more than one real cartel leader has ended up extradited and sentenced to life in a federal prison. Whether you avoid that fate is a different story entirely, but the seat that took you your whole life to reach is also the most dangerous place in the entire organization to sit. Every ambitious commander below you would take that chair in a heartbeat if they thought they could get away with it. From a 15-year-old kid with a radio watching an empty road to the one man an entire multinational organization answers to, that's the whole climb. 8 ranks, decades of risk spent earning every single step of it. The Sinaloa cartel is estimated to operate in dozens of countries around the world, and organizations like it generate billions of dollars a year. And this same climb, this exact structure, keeps rebuilding itself every single time a leader falls. Every real patron who has ever held this seat eventually lost it to an arrest, a betrayal, or a rival. The empire outlives every single man who has ever tried to run it. If you made it all the way to El Patron in this story, let us know in the comments which rank felt like the hardest climb. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.